Today is very auspicious day. It is the anniversary of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's festival of chipped rice and yogurt in Panihati, one village or town. When Raghunath Das Goswami was young, then first he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Advaita Acharya's house, and he became very much attracted to him, but then they returned home. So he was trying to escape from his home many times to join Mahaprabhu, to be with him, but his father kept some guards on him, and then when second time Mahaprabhu came to Advaita Acharya's house, that time he asked for permission of his father to go and take darshan of Mahaprabhu. So father said, okay, you may go, but these guards will go with you and you should quickly return. So when Raghunath Das Goswami met second time Mahaprabhu, then he was praying to him, I want to go with you, I want to be with you. Then Mahaprabhu told him, don't become mad. You should go back to your home, and inside your heart you have faith in Krishna, and outwardly behave like everyone else, like normal life, with detachment. So at that time it was possible, because in that time no one was doing this for sinful activities. If someone was doing, he was like a criminal. This was very rare, and he's a criminal like out. So, but nowadays if you say you behave like others, then it means you will be all the time in sins. They are promoting, and they think if you are not doing these sinful activities, you are crazy, you will have to go to mental hospital like this. So Mahaprabhu did not mean in this sense, but he told him, don't be like a monkey, renunciate. Outwardly showing I am very renounced, but inside so many desires are there. Because monkey, he's staying in forest, like no house, and no cloth, naked. So it looks like very renounced. But inside he's always thinking of sense gratification. With female monkeys, many. They are enjoying in many. Polygamy. So he said, don't be like this. It is not so easy, and it is not happening all of a sudden that one can renounce this world and fully dedicate to Krishna and become ascetic, like renunciate. Renunciate in this sense means when one has already controlled all the 6 urges mentioned in the first verse of Upadeshamrita, like a Babaji, they were staying renunciates, they were already fully detached from this world, because so much engaged in the service of Krishna, like Rup Sanatan, like this. They are ascetics. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur there, he told that before one did not control these 6 urges, he is not eligible to live household life. Because if they will be renounced, then, and so many desires, then that renounced order will be polluted and people will exploit, means such renounced will exploit and do nonsense. It happened also. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur told like this, you should do bhajan in your house with practicing yukta vairagya, like having normal, like a job, not being engaged in any sinful activities, and doing regulated worship of Krishna, and behaving with others like externally, like normal. But the point is, one should not be engaged in any of those 4 sinful activities. That has to be taken care of. But Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because seeing that circumstances and condition of society was changed, so much foreign culture came to India, and they were watching the movies and this and so many things. So, and they became, it was difficult to practice devotion in house, because also other family members, they were not so inclined, and they would put obstacle and like this. Before, everyone was at least reading Ramayana and Mahabharata every house, but then this was lost. So Prabhupada made this math system. Math system is in between, like the Goswamis in Vrindavan and Dham, fully renounced and doing bhajan whole time, and disturbed conditions in houses where it is not possible to do bhajan, even if someone would like to do, but so many obstacles. So for such people, Prabhupada made this math system where they can stay together, but they are not yet fully purified of all other desires. So some disturbances also happening in the math with neophytes and like this. So this is one middle way he made. So what we are speaking of here is Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to go with Mahaprabhu like Mahaprabhu's lifestyle, but Mahaprabhu told him, no, now you are not eligible. You go back to your home, do bhajan in your home, chanting and all this, and it is not mentioned, but it is self-understood that not to engage in any sinful activities and behave normally, like normal society, that Varna Ashram Dharma in India it is possible. So as not to be like a monkey outwardly showing. So he said, it gradually one can surmount this ocean of material existence, not all of a sudden. So you go home, you practice this, and then in future, Krishna will save you. He will rescue you from this entanglement. So like this. Then Raghunath Das Goswami went home, and he was behaving like this, doing job. Even they got him married and doing all these things, but inside doing bhajan and outwardly like normal. So in their home, father and mother, they also released those guards and like this. They thought, oh, okay, now he's not so very eager to run away and go to become like a ascetic and like this. So they little loose. But after 1 year, again Raghunath Das Goswami felt that urge that I want to be with Mahaprabhu, I want to do bhajan. And he again tried to escape many times, but each time he was caught by those guards and father, and then they brought him home. Then his mother also told to his father, better you should tie him down with a rope so that he cannot escape. Then father said in a defeated tone, he said, actually, if such wealth, they were very wealthy family, very wealthy. In that time, they were very, I will not say numbers because you cannot, but very wealthy. So he said, if such wealth is not keeping him in home, and wife is as beautiful as heavenly lady, if these things cannot keep him in home, then how will mere ropes be able to do? I am defeated. He said, actually, father cannot change the karma, past karma of son. It will go its own way. No one can change, because this son is not your son. He's a soul. He was existing before he became your son. Actually, not your son. No one is of anyone. This is all false relations. We are all related to Krishna eternally. So what one did in past life, he's now reaping the fruits in this life. So it is going on in own way. It does not mean that if I'm related, it will go like this. No. Actually, no one is of no one. Is not owned by anyone, and these are all illusory relationships: father, mother, son, wife, children, all this, all illusory, temporary, illusory. So then Raghunath Das Goswami was, even in home he was living very renounced, and one day, no, yes, that will come later. So in this state of mind, he was thinking how I can be rescued, how I can be rescued. Then he came to know that the Nityananda Prabhu is coming to that Panihati village to visit Raghava Goswami, Raghav Pandit. There are two, one is Raghav Goswami, one is Raghav Pandit. This is Pandit one. So he thought Nityananda Prabhu is the rescuer of the most fallen. He is most merciful. I will go to him. I will pray for his grace. So with this in mind, and with all the guards and everything, he went. So I will not read Bengali because I don't know how long it will go, this pastime, but we should read it till the end. And when we will come to this point in Chaitanya Charitamrita in future, that time I will also read Bengali. But because today is anniversary, I will just read English. Then Raghunath Das considered something in his mind, and the next day he went to Nityananda Gosai. In the village of Panihati, Raghunath Das obtained an interview, that is darshan, with Nityananda Prabhu, who was accompanied by many kirtan performers, servants, and others, preaching party of Nityananda Prabhu. Sitting on a rock under a tree on the bank of the Ganges, Lord Nityananda seemed as effulgent as hundreds of thousands of rising suns. Many devotees sat on the ground surrounding him. Seeing the influence of Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das was astonished. Raghunath Das offered his obeisances by falling prostrate at a distant place, and the servant of Nityananda Prabhu pointed out, "There is Raghunath Das offering you obeisances." Hearing this, Lord Nityananda Prabhu said, "You are a thief. Now you have come to see me. Come here, come here. Today I shall punish you." The Lord called him, but Raghunath Das did not go near the Lord. Then the Lord forcibly caught him and placed his lotus feet upon Raghunath Das's head. Lord Nityananda was by nature very merciful and funny. Being merciful, he spoke to Raghunath Das as follows: "You are just like a thief, for instead of coming near, you stay away at a distant place. Now that I have captured you, I shall punish you. Make a festival and feed all my associates yogurt and chipped rice." Hearing this, Raghunath Das was greatly pleased. Chipped rice is flat rice. What is that English like? like oats or like this flakes thing, flat rice, cheap rice. It is dried and like flat. You have to soak it. So this is Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. He gave him seva to Vaishnavas. Raghunath Das immediately sent his own men to the village to purchase all kinds of eatables and bring them back. Raghunath Das brought chipped rice, yogurt, milk, sweetmeats, sugar, bananas, and other eatables and placed them all around. When we were in India, then Gurudev did not allow us to take that prasad with chili. So sometimes with breakfast it was also difficult. So Gurudev gave me one bag of this one, cheap rice. He said, you soak it and you put little sugar and take that for breakfast. I remember it now. It is like oats, something like this. But it is made of rice. As soon as they heard that a festival was going to be held, all kinds of brahmanas and other gentlemen began to arrive. Thus there were innumerable people. Seeing the crowd increasing, Raghunath Das arranged to get more eatables from other villages. He also brought 200 to 400 large round earthen pots. He was very rich, so he bought everything what was there. He also obtained 5 or 7 especially large earthen pots, and in these pots a brahmana began soaking chipped rice for the satisfaction of Lord Nityananda. In one place, chipped rice was soaked in hot milk in each of the large pots. Then half the rice, that soaked one, was mixed with yogurt, sugar, and bananas. The other half was mixed with condensed milk and a special type of banana known as chappa cola. Then sugar, clarified butter, means ghee, and camphor were added. That camphor, I don't know how to explain what is camphor. That like a crystal and you put there. It's very good in milky preparations. After Nityananda Prabhu had changed his cloth for a new one and sat on a raised platform, the Brahmana brought before him the 7 huge pots. On that platform, all the most important associates of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, as well as other important men, sat down in a circle around the Lord. Among them were Ramdas, Sundarananda, Gadadhar Das, Murari, Kamalakar, Sadaship, and Purandar. Dhananjay, Jagadish, Parameshwar Das, Mahesh, Gauri Das, and Horo Krishna Das were also there. Similarly, Udarandata Thakur and many other personal associates of the Lord sat on the raised platform with Nityananda Prabhu. No one could count them all. Our Gurudev wrote that book. You can find biographies of these. They are personal associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, not ordinary person. If you get the service of them, then you will surely get rescued. This is what Nityananda Prabhu made here arrangement. Hearing about the festival, all kinds of learned scholars, brahmanas and priests went there. Lord Nityananda Prabhu honored them and made them sit on a raised platform with him. Everyone was offered 2 earthen pots. In one was put chipped rice with condensed milk, and in the other chipped rice with yogurt. 2 pots, different preparation. All the other people sat in groups around the platform. No one could count how many people there were. Each and every one of them was supplied 2 earthen pots, one of chipped rice soaked in yogurt, the other of chipped rice soaked in condensed milk. Condensed milk means you are boiling milk for a long time so that water evaporates and it becomes very thick. That is condensed milk, very good. Some of the brahmanas, not having gotten a place on the platform, went to the bank of the Ganges with their 2 earthen pots and soaked their chipped rice there. Others, who could not get a place even on the bank of the Ganges, got down into the water and began eating their 2 kinds of chipped rice. Thus, some sat on the platform, some at the base of the platform, and some on the bank of the Ganges, and they were all supplied 2 pots, each by 20 men, who distributed the food. When I was more new, when I came to India, then there was like in some parikrama or some festival, there was a prasad and they called us. So sometimes I saw, a very nice place to sit there. There were rows. So I went there to sit. Then they told me, no, this is for Mahatmas. It is for sannyasis and those big devotees, for Mahatmas. You take your seat there. Then I understood there is arrangement made like this. So here also you can see. Some are on platform, some are there, some there. At that time, Raghav Pandit arrived there. Seeing the situation, he began to laugh in great surprise, because actually Nityananda Prabhu was invited by Raghav Pandit to his house for prasad. That is why Nityananda Prabhu came to Panihati. So now Raghav Pandit met Nityananda, and he brought many kinds of food cooked in ghee and offered to the Lord. This prasadam he first placed before Lord Nityananda and then distributed among the devotees. Raghav Pandit said to Lord Nityananda, "For you, sir, I have already offered food to the deity, but you are engaged in a festival here, and so the food is lying there untouched in my house." Lord Nityananda replied, "Let me eat all this food here during the day, and I shall eat at your home at night." That does not mean like night, midnight like this. Night in India means because sunset is like 6 or 6:30 maximum. So night prasad for them means like normal, like 8 p.m. like this, night prasad. Dinner thing. But the word is ratri, night. Because that time already there is night there, it is dark. But not so late night, as we generally say here, night, like 10 p.m. like this. No? I belong to a community of cowherd boys, Nityananda Prabhu said, and therefore I generally have many cowherd associates with me. I am happy when we eat together in a picnic like this by the sandy bank of the river. He was speaking in the mood of Baladev in Vrindavan, and they are his associates, cowherd boys. So we like picnic type, to outside eat. Lord Nityananda made Raghav Pandit sit down and had 2 pots delivered to him also. There were 2 kinds of chipped rice soaked in them. When chipped rice had been served to everyone, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, in meditation, brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived, Lord Nityananda Prabhu stood up. They then saw how the others were enjoying the chipped rice with yogurt and condensed milk. Like physically or manifested, Mahaprabhu was at that time in Puri, not in Bengal. But Nityananda Prabhu in meditation, he brought him there. He's unlimited. He can do anything he likes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyhow, he's present everywhere. But we cannot see. So, and in Lila also there is a long topic about this point. So Nityananda Prabhu, he invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please come. And Mahaprabhu came. From each and every pot, Lord Nityananda Prabhu took 1 morsel of chipped rice and pushed it into the mouth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a joke. In like joking mood, funny mood. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also smiling, took a morsel of food, pushed it into the mouth of Nityananda, and laughed as he made Lord Nityananda eat it. In this way, Lord Nityananda was walking through all the groups of eaters, and all the Vaishnavas standing there were seeing the fun. No one could understand what Nityananda Prabhu was doing as he walked about. Some, however, who were very fortunate, could see that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also present. So he was not manifested. Only some could see that really he came. Then Nityananda Prabhu smiled and sat down. On his right side, he kept 4 pots of chipped rice that had not been made from boiled paddy. Lord Nityananda offered Aroya chira, not made from boiled paddy. There are 2 types of rice in India, you will find. One is sun-dried and another is parboiled or pre-boiled. So as to make, so that pre-boiled is one type, and this is Aroya, not boiled, it's only sun-dried. Atop rice, they say now. This difference. So from that rice, which was atop, means like sun-dried, from that rice, they made these flakes, rice flakes, chipped, flat rice. Lord Nityananda offered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a place and had him sit down. Then, together the 2 brothers began eating chipped rice. Seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eating with him, Lord Nityananda Prabhu became very happy and exhibited varieties of ecstatic love. Lord Nityananda Prabhu ordered, all of you eat, chanting the holy name of Hari. Immediately the holy names Hari Hari resounded filling the entire universe. When all the Vaishnavas were chanting the holy names Hari Hari and eating, they remembered how Krishna and Balaram ate with their companions, the cowherd boys, on the bank of the Jamuna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu are extremely merciful and liberal. It was Raghunath Das's good fortune that they accepted all these dealings. Who can understand the influence and mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu? He is so powerful that he induced Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come eat cheap rice on the bank of the Ganges. All the confidential devotees who were cowherd boys, headed by Sri Ramdas, were absorbed in ecstatic love. They thought the bank of the Ganges to be the bank of the Jamuna. When the shopkeepers of many other villages heard about the festival, they arrived there to sell cheap rice, yogurt, sweetmeats, and bananas. As they came, bringing all kinds of food, Raghunath Das purchased it all. He gave them the price for their goods and later fed them the very same food. Anyone who came to see how these funny things were going on was also fed cheap rice, yogurt, and bananas. So everyone who came, he got. No discrimination, no invitation or non-invitation, no. Anyone who comes, this was arranged by Nityananda Prabhu, very merciful. After Lord Nityananda Prabhu finished eating, he washed his hands and mouth and gave Raghunath Das the food remaining in the 4 pots. You see, even God himself, Nityananda Prabhu, he is teaching by his own example. After taking prasad, you should wash your hands and mouths. And when you are eating, you cannot just with that impure, you take things, as is custom in Western countries. You have to clean your hands and mouth, then you can take more. And with clean spoon and not touching like this. Very difficult for Westerners to adopt this pure style. You explain to them many times, but still they are very. But it is in etiquette. It's in Vaishnava etiquette, and it is also not only this. It is also very pure in this other senses, in bacterial and all these things. So one has to learn this etiquette of Vaishnavas, how to be pure, even bodily. When you have to take bath, how you should distribute prasad so that you don't touch, clean, and when you're eating, how you should do, and the place where you are eating, all this we have to learn from those who know devotees. I was taught immediately when I came to the mat in India, after taking initiation, immediately they started to teach me this, all these things in the mat. So I learned, but I see some others, they have difficulty to accept this. But it is normal, and the place you have to clean and like this. So they taught me, and then after some time also many new things they taught me about asana and like this. It is all in Vaishnava etiquette as to maintain purity, not just for the sake of like purity, but it is for the sake of, because deity is worshipped in the temple and Vaishnavas are being served. So one should not commit that offense of like that the pujari or the deity will get touched by something impure, and for Vaishnavas and where they are walking and eating, you have to clean and like this. It is for the service of Krishna and his devotees that we have to learn this etiquette of maintaining purity, sanctity. But you have to learn by proper one who knows, who understands. that. So then after Nityananda washed himself, then he gave to Raghunath Das the food remaining in the 4 pots. There was food remaining in the 3 other big pots of Lord Nityananda, and the Brahmana distributed it to all the devotees, giving a morsel to each. That is Nityananda's prasadi remnants. Then a Brahmana brought a flower garland, placed the garland on Nityananda Prabhu's neck, and smeared sandalwood pulp all over his body. When a servant brought betel nuts and offered them to Lord Nityananda, the Lord smiled and chewed them. In our mats, whenever some Western devotees they come, they always engage me. The Tatpar Maharaj and others, they told me, you have to teach them how they will eat and how they should maintain this. Many times they told me, and they will not allow any Westerners to kitchen and like this, because they know they are not aware of what they are doing and what is the system and like this, but they allow me in Mayapur, in Calcutta, everywhere, because they know I was taught by devotees. So for me, they have no problem. But any other new coming, they are very like this, to keep them a little away from the seva system, because they are not maintaining purity, and touching and eating and touching mobile and back and all things doing and we left and like this. So they have to be trained properly. So sometimes I had to explain, but it is very difficult to make them follow. They will understand, but due to past habit, it's very difficult to some they catch very easily. I know also some Western devotees, immediately they understand and they follow. But for some, it's very difficult. I don't know. So this Brahmin gave garland to Nityananda and sandalwood pulp to cool down the body. That is seva, Vaishnav seva. When a servant brought betel nuts and offered them to Lord Nityananda, the Lord smiled and chewed them. With his own hands, Lord Nityananda Prabhu distributed to all the devotees whatever flower garlands, sandalwood pulp, and betel nuts remained. After receiving the remnants of food left by Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Raghunath Das, who was greatly happy, ate some and distributed the rest among his own associates. Thus, I have described the pastimes of Lord Nityananda Prabhu in relation to the celebrated festival of chipped rice and yogurt. Nityananda Prabhu rested for the day, and when the day ended, he went to the temple of Raghav Pandit and began congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Lord Nityananda Prabhu first influenced all the devotees to dance, and finally he himself began dancing, thus inundating the entire world in ecstatic love. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was observing the dancing of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu could see this, but the others could not. The dancing of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, like the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, cannot be compared to anything within these 3 worlds. No one can properly describe the sweetness of Lord Nityananda's dancing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally comes to see it. After the dancing and after Lord Nityananda had rested, Raghav Pandit submitted his request that the Lord take supper. Lord Nityananda Prabhu sat down for supper with his personal associates and made a sitting place on his right side for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there and sat down at his place. Seeing this, Raghav Pandit felt increasing happiness. Raghav Pandit brought the prasadam before the two brothers and thereafter distributed prasadam to all the other Vaishnavas. There were varieties of cakes, sweet rice, and fine cooked rice that surpassed the taste of nectar. There were also varieties of vegetables, sabji. In Bengal, they are eating rice 3 times daily. No problem. Means they want 3 times daily rice. They are very fond of rice. But other Western and North India or South India, they cannot eat 3 times rice. They need chapati or idli or something according to their. But Bengalis, they will eat for breakfast, for lunch, and dinner also rice. If you want to give them, if you ask them, you will take chapati or rice, they will say rice. They are so fond. So here Raghav Pandit also cooked rice for dinner or supper. The food prepared and offered to the deity by Raghav Pandit was like the essence of nectar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there again and again to eat such prasadam. When Raghav Pandit offered the food to the deity after cooking, he would make a separate offering for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would eat at the house of Raghav Pandit. Sometimes he would give Raghav Pandit the opportunity to see him. So he had deity of Krishna. He made one bhog, one plate, means or one offering for that, and one separate for Mahaprabhu. In our mats also they are offering. One offering, one plate, big plate and all the pots, it is for Radha Krishna. Another is for Mahaprabhu. And you have to keep 2 separate asans and everything separate. But if you are unable, then Gurudev told, then you can offer to Mahaprabhu or you can offer to Radha Krishna, one offering. Knowing that if you offer to Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna also will get because they are non-different. And if you offer to Radha Krishna, you know Mahaprabhu will also get. They are non-different. But if Nityananda Prabhu is there, yesterday I was explaining, then you have to make separate for him another plate. That is why in our Calcutta mat, you will see, they will make 3 plates. One for Radha Krishna, one for Mahaprabhu, and one for Nityananda Prabhu. Because their Gaur Nityananda are separately staying. So for Nityananda, they are also offering. So Mahaprabhu would daily come to eat at Raghav Pandit's house. Sometimes he got darshan also. Raghav Pandit would bring and distribute prasadam to the 2 brothers, feeding them with great attention. They ate everything and therefore there were no remnants left. He brought so many presentations that no one could know them perfectly. Indeed, it was a fact that the Supreme Mother, Radharani, personally cooked in the house of Raghav Pandit. Srimati Radharani received from Durvasa Muni the benediction that whatever she cooked would be sweeter than nectar. That is the special feature of her cooking. She got. One time Durvasa Rishi came to Barshana as a guest to Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So Vrishabhanu Maharaj engaged young Radharani at that time to serve him as a guest. So Durvasa Rishi has a very difficult character. He is demanding and not taking, and during night time, I want this. But Radharani would tolerate everything, never complaining, never becoming angry, and was serving according to his wishes, whatever he wanted. Sometimes he wanted to, I want this, I want to eat this, and this much quantity. So Radharani quickly cooking. Then when she made and offered, then he said, no, I will not eat. But Radharani never became angry. So like this, for 1 month, she was serving. Then Durvasa's heart melted and he said, yes, you are doing very nice seva, so I bless you. What you will cook, it will be like nectar. In one sense, tasty, that taste will be there heavenly. Another, it will increase the life of the person who will eat. This is of course all Lila. Radharani in Tattva is superior to Durvasa Rishi. But for the sake of Lila, they made such pastime that Radharani got such boon, because this will become useful for Krishna Lila. Radharani and Krishna, they are not married. So how Radharani will cook for Krishna? So Jashoda, she calls Radharani, for this reason, you please cook, because if my son will take your food, then his life will become longer. In Brajadam, no one thinking Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So to make this arrangement possible that Radharani can cook for Krishna, this was made. Aromatic and pleasing to see, the food was the essence of all sweetness. Thus the two brothers, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu, ate it with great satisfaction. All the devotees present requested Raghunath Das to sit down and take prasadam. But Raghav Pandit told them he will take prasadam later. All the devotees took prasadam, filling themselves to the brim. Thereafter, chanting the holy name of Hari, they stood up and washed their hands and mouths. After eating, the two brothers washed their hands and mouths. See, the Gaur Nityananda and all associates, they are following this. So we should follow this. After properly learning, should follow. This is the Vaishnava culture. And as I told, it is not for the sake of life, it is for the sake of service of Diti and Vaishnavas. Then Raghav Pandit brought flower garlands and sandalwood pulp and decorated them. Raghav Pandit offered them betel nuts and worshipped their lotus feet. He also distributed betel nuts, flower garlands and sandalwood pulp to the devotees. Raghav Pandit, being very merciful toward Raghunath Das, offered him the dishes with the remnants of food left by the two brothers, means Gaur Nityananda. He said, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has eaten this food. If you take his remnants, you will be released from the bondage of your family. The Supreme Personality of Godhead always resides either in the heart or in the home of a devotee. This fact is sometimes hidden and sometimes manifest, for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is fully independent. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is all-pervasive, and therefore he resides everywhere. Anyone who doubts this will be annihilated. In the morning, after taking his bath in the Ganges, Nityananda Prabhu sat down with his associates beneath the same tree under which he had previously sat. Raghunath Das went there and worshipped Lord Nityananda's lotus feet. Through Raghav Pandit, he submitted his desire. I am the lowest of men, the most sinful, fallen and condemned. Nevertheless, I desire to attain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This simple-heartedness, sincerity. Like a dwarf who wants to catch the moon, I have tried my best many times, but I have never been successful. Every time I try to go away and give up my home relationships, my father and mother unfortunately kept me bound. No one can attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without your mercy. But if you are merciful, even the lowest of men can attain shelter at his lotus feet. This Nityananda Prabhu. Such is the by Nityananda Prabhu's grace we can get Mahaprabhu. Ignoring his grace we cannot get. Although I am unfit and greatly afraid to submit this plea, I nevertheless request you, Sir, to be especially merciful toward me by granting me shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Placing your feet on my head, give me the benediction that I may achieve the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without difficulty. I pray for this benediction. After hearing this appeal by Raghunath Das, Lord Nityananda Prabhu smiled and told all the devotees, Raghunath Das's standard of material happiness is equal to that of Indra, the king of heaven, so rich he was. Because of the mercy bestowed upon him by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Das, although situated in such material happiness, does not like it at all. Therefore, let every one of you be merciful toward him and give him the benediction that he may very soon attain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One who experiences the fragrance of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna does not value even the standard of happiness available in Brahmaloka, that is the highest planet where Brahma is staying, in 14 worlds highest, the topmost planet. And what to speak of heavenly happiness? Svarga is little lower than Brahmaloka. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is offered sublime poetic prayers by those trying to attain his favor. Thus he is known as Uttama Shloka. Being very eager to gain the association of Lord Krishna, King Bharat, although in the prime of youth, gave up his very attractive wife, affectionate children, most beloved friends, and opulent kingdom, exactly as one gives up stool after excreting it. No attachment. Why? Because realization of Krishna happened. Then you see what is the real relation, eternal and fulfilling. So if other family members are not interested in the worship of Krishna, then he will leave. He will do bhajan in association with devotees. Then, but if they are devotees, then no problem. But they will not have worldly relations. They will see he is a devotee of Krishna, I belong to Krishna, he belongs to Krishna. That is okay. So this relation we have to realize with Krishna and with all in relation to Krishna. Then Lord Nityananda Prabhu called Raghunath Das near him, placed his lotus feet upon Raghunath Das's head, and began to speak. My dear Raghunath Das, he said, since you arranged the feast on the bank of the Ganges, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here just to show you his mercy. By his causeless mercy, he ate the chipped rice and milk. Then, after seeing the dancing of the devotees at night, he took his supper. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Gaura Hari came here personally to deliver you. Now, Rest assured that all the impediments meant for your bondage are gone. But he was invited by Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu can invite him. So we have to take shelter of Nityananda. We have to get his grace. By his grace we can get Mahaprabhu, not directly. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will accept you and place you under the charge of his secretary. Yesterday I was explaining this function of Nityananda. He's taking us out from Maya and placing us in the service of Krishna. Avoiding this, Nityananda is Guru Tattva, so our Guru is like that. Nityananda Prakash, manifestation of Nityananda. They will bring us out from Maya and place us in the service of Radha Krishna according to necessity and capacity. So here Nityananda Prabhu is telling, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will accept you and place you under the charge of his secretary, Sarup Damodar. You will thus become one of the most confidential internal servants and will attain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Being assured of all this, return to your own home. Very soon, without impediments, you will attain shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Nityananda had Raghunath Das blessed by all the devotees, and Raghunath Das offered his respects to their lotus feet. If you read their biographies, you will be amazed, astonished, what kind of devotees they are. After taking leave of Lord Nityananda Prabhu and then all the other Vaishnavas, Sri Raghunath Das consulted secretly with Raghav Pandit. After consulting with Raghav Pandit, he secretly delivered 100 gold coins and about 7 tolas of gold into the hand of Nityananda Prabhu's treasurer. Raghunath Das admonished the treasurer, do not speak about this to Lord Nityananda Prabhu now, but when he returns home, kindly inform him about this presentation. Thereupon, Raghav Pandit took Raghunath Das to his home. After inducing him to see the deity, he gave Raghunath Das a garland and sandalwood pulp. He gave Raghunath Das a large quantity of prasadam to eat on his way home. Then Raghunath Das again spoke to Raghav Pandit. I want to give money, he said, just to worship the lotus feet of all the great devotees, servants and sub-servants of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. As you think fit, give 20, 15, 12, 10 or 5 coins to each of them. Raghunath Das drew up an account of the amount to be given and submitted it to Raghav Pandit, who then made up a list showing how much money was to be paid to each and every devotee. With great humility, Raghunath Das placed 100 gold coins and about 2 tolas of gold before Raghav Pandit for all the other devotees. After taking dust from the feet of Raghav Pandit, Raghunath Das returned to his home, feeling greatly obligated to Lord Nityananda Prabhu because of having received his merciful benediction. Yes. Then his mood also changed when he was at home. This we will hear at that time when we'll come to this part. So also donation, the Guru Dakshina, is to be given accordingly. Like if someone is a sannyasi, then you will give more than to someone who is, if you want to serve all Vaishnavas, the brahmachari, it is not all, it is not same for all. This is also not wrong. It is not discrimination, but it is like giving due respect, also giving due monetary seva. This is also there. So because Raghunath Das Goswami was very rich, that is why he can use it for the service of the Vaishnavas. But if someone is poor, then it is not necessary that now he will have to take one job just for the sake that he will give money. No, Vaishnavas, they don't demand or say for money. They never beg, demand for, no. But if someone has, then he can engage. If someone doesn't have, then if he will follow their instructions, then they will be pleased. One time, one devotee, just this point I will tell, then I will finish. He asked, means he requested, Gurudev, you please bless me that I will earn a lot of money in job. Then I can make a feast for Vaishnavas. Then Guru said, it is not mentioned in any Shastra. This is some kind of devotional practice. It is not. He said that is not required. No, but I would be very pleased. The Guru said, but it is not about your pleasure. It is about service. So he said, if someone already has money, more, then he can engage it in the service of Vaishnava. But there is no any such sadhana that you will want to earn huge money so that you will serve. No, Vaishnavas, they don't want. They want you to chant Harinam, to hear about Krishna and to engage in his service like this. They don't require money and good food and this. No. But if someone has, he can give. According to past karma, if he has, he can give. But no need to make separate effort to get. That is not required. Even mentally you can serve Vaishnavas and Supreme Lord if you don't have anything. They will accept. That is not a condition that only one who is rich, he can serve Vaishnavas. Never. This is never a condition. Whoever wants to serve, he will get the service. So today is the anniversary of this great festival. It was sincere desire of Raghunath Das Goswami to serve Mahaprabhu, and he knew if I will get the grace of Nityananda Prabhu, I will pray to him. Then it is possible. He's teaching us. So Nityananda immediately understood his sincere desire, so immediately he gave him seva. Yes, you do this seva. And he did, and he also prayed, and Nityananda Prabhu blessed, not with hand, with feet on his head. Feet. That is more powerful, more merciful. If someone blesses you with hand, it is okay. But if he puts his feet on your head, that is topmost. So he said, yes, now everything is cleared, all impediments, and very soon, we will hear that time, Raghunath Das Goswami will, by some arrangement of Krishna, he will be able to escape from his home and he will go to Mahaprabhu, to Puri. And at that time Mahaprabhu will accept him. Yes, now you are fit to stay with me. Now you crossed that all material entanglements and other desires and all this. Now you can come. Yes, I accept you. So we have to serve under the guidance of Guru. He will engage us according to our level and what we have to do. We cannot jump and overstep and like this. No, step by step we have to go as given by Guru. Then we can reach Goloka Vrindavan. But if we go by our own ideas and own speculation like this, we cannot get. Jai Nityananda, Jai Gaura Hari. 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 Jai Nityananda, Jai Gaura